Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Utility Sports. Today is the day. The 2021 NBA Draft is upon us. I am recording this today in order to celebrate and to also bring you guys some 2021 NBA Draft sleepers, guys who maybe will be available into the second round, and also some other guys who could be available maybe late first round that I think are really, really good steals at this point, and guys that I would love to see come off the board for my team if they had picks. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, so unfortunately we do not have any draft picks currently. We'll see if we make a move back up into the draft though, but these are some guys your team should look to add, especially a little bit later on in the draft. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I have an honorable mention here. EJ Onu out of Shawnee State. Here we can kind of see some of his numbers. 4.5 blocks a game in 2021 for the Shawnee State Bears, and it's obviously very, very incredible the amount of rim protection that he brings to an NBA floor, and also his ability to rim run in transition. He's a player that I don't even have ranked in my top 60, I'm going to be honest with you, but I could see a pathway where he ends up being a very, very, very good rim protecting, rotational role playing center for an NBA roster. Now, I've got concerns that he played in a smaller school like Shawnee State, but I still think that there is a potential pathway for EJ Onu to be a very good NBA player, and I think that I'd be intrigued to see where he goes. I think his draft range really starts around 45 to 60 is where I could see him getting drafted if he does, and I don't think it would be a bad pick there. I think he has some room to grow offensively. He is a senior, so he's a little bit older, but I think that the sky could be the limit for him a little bit, especially when protecting the rim, which is such a key part of NBA team defense. Jumping into 5 now, I have Javonte Smart. So we're bringing my top 5 and then also that honorable mention. And Javonte Smart out of LSU was such a key player for the LSU Tigers this past season and really showed a lot of growth as a player in general. Took massive strides as a three-point shooter, also greatly improved his defensive capabilities during his time under Will Wade there at LSU. He's going to project to be a really good 3-and-D guard, someone who's going to be comfortable picking up full court. He has good quick foot speed, also able to use his body to shield off drivers, able to beat them to the spot, and he's bulky enough, strong enough to handle some of the bigger wings a little bit too. I think he could guard some 6'7" wings, only standing at about 6'3", 6'4". He's not big, but I think he has the toughness that you need to guard bigger players. And that three-point shot, like I said, is going to be really key for his offensive versatility. I think he's also got a little bit of playmaking flair to him that gives him a little bit of upside on top of that 3-and-D fit, and I think he would be a nice fit for a team to grab him in the second round. At 4, I have Neemias Queta here out of Utah State, and this guy just keeps climbing my board. Every single time I watch him, I get more and more impressed with his ability to make up distance between himself and his offensive matchup, the guy he's guarding. He is extremely quick for a 7-footer. He can jump out of the gym. He's going to be a really good rim protector, but more than that, he's going to hit the offensive glass, and he's going to hit it hard. He showed that during the NBA Draft Combine scrimmage games. That was really where he stood out to me. I think teams like the New York Knicks probably are his starting point at about pick 32. I could see maybe the Milwaukee Bucks taking a swing on him at 31. Basically, the entire second round is the range I could see him go. I would be surprised if he makes it past pick 46 to the Toronto Raptors. I think that's his floor, honestly. I would be very shocked if he's still on the board at that point. But we'll see where he goes. For me, I would take him very start of the second round. That's where I see him. I have him on my board as the 31st best player in this year's class. 3, we have Jason Preston now here, the point guard out of Ohio. I really like this kid. He's going to be someone who can really, fuel a second unit, fuel a team around him. He's got real playmaking feel, and he's going to just be a nice floor general point guard at the very worst. Kind of reminds me of a guy like Jalen Brunson. Now, of course, he's bigger than Jalen Brunson, standing about 6'4", so he's got more of that prototypical size for the position. But he's just going to be he's going to come in and be a good player. He's capable of scoring, capable of setting others up, comfortable handling the rock, and I think that he's someone who's going to be a really good value pick for a team in the second round. I would be surprised if he goes in the first round. I have him as a first-round player in this class, 29th best player on my board, but he is a very nice player. I don't think he'll go first round, but I think he would be deserving of a first-round pick. I think his floor starts at about 40, 45. Maybe I could see Chicago being the floor at 38, depending on how they feel about grabbing a point guard at that spot. And I could also see his ceiling maybe even being the Phoenix Suns at 29. However, I don't necessarily expect that to happen. 2, I have Herb Jones here out of Alabama. This is another kid who I've just really fallen in love with throughout this process. He's going to project to be a multi-positional defender, played some small ball center for the Alabama Crimson Tide this past year as they went on to win the SEC championship. And Alabama really just produced some really good basketball players this year. Herb Jones coming out, Josh Primo coming out. This team is really, really good, and I think Herb Jones was the best player on that team throughout this whole process. He impacts the game in a lot of ways. Like I said, the defensive versatility is going to be really key for an NBA franchise, especially bringing in some lineup flexibility and versatility on the defensive end of the floor. But you're also looking at a guy who's comfortable handling the rock, playing a little bit of a pseudo point forward role, can rebound the basketball, comfortable slashing, taking off against hard closeouts. And I think his swing skill is going to be stepping out to that three-point line. I see him projecting to be a nice 3-and-D wing in the NBA. I have him, I believe, 25th on my big board. And I think he's someone who's going to keep elevating throughout this process. I would love this pick for any team, honestly, in the 20s. I think his ceiling probably starts right around pick 21 with the New York Knicks. But maybe even 20 at the Atlanta Hawks I could see. And I think his floor is probably into the mid-40s, maybe around where the Toronto Raptors are picking, again, 46. I think the Raptors are going to be looking for a lot of multi-positional defenders. That kind of fits what Nick Nurse wants to do there. So a guy like Herb Jones, Neemias, Queta just makes sense as a natural floor for some of these players. My best player as a sleeper here is Nishan Bones Hyland out of VCU. Playing for the Virginia Commonwealth University, he showed elite range and elite traits that will translate well to the NBA. I expect him to go anywhere from about pick 18, maybe pick 17 to the Pelicans, all the way up to maybe pick 32, 33 area. He's got a pretty wide range. It's a very deep guard class, but I think Bones Hyland's going to be one of the biggest steals in this class. Played in one of the combine scrimmage games, put up 17 points, was efficient, showed real defensive prowess as well. He's got the length to guard in the NBA, just needs to put on a little bit of muscle, and he's going to be very solid there in that area. And I think that's not even his best asset. His offensive skill set is really where he projects to be a good player. He can handle the ball, can play make for others a little bit, but most importantly, he can shoot the lights out of the gym, has elite range, and I think coming into this draft, he's going to be a very good steal. I think a team that should really look at prioritizing him on draft night is the Los Angeles Lakers. If he's available at 22 or 25 for the Clippers, I would be shocked if he makes it past both those teams, honestly, because you're looking at a guy who fills the needs for them, offers size, length, versatility, defensive prowess, playmaking, and shooting upside. Those are the things that those two organizations are looking for, and he's ready to come in and win now. He's a sophomore coming out of college. Played really, really great again in those combine games. I actually have him as the 12th best player in this year's class, and I think his range starts around 20 for where he'll actually get drafted. So again, really good value pick at that point. Let me know some of your draft sleepers in the comments. I'd love to hear it from you guys. Again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. Also subscribe for more content here at Utility Sports. Thanks again, guys, and we'll catch you in the very next video.